Welcome back to the channel. If you love shocking confessions, insane family drama, workplace betrayals, and twists you never see coming, you're in the right place. Grab your snacks, sit back, and let's jump straight into today's story. My boss fired the quietest guy in the office on a Friday. By Monday, the entire company was in panic mode. Nobody really noticed him. He never joined office parties, never argued in meetings, and always left exactly at 5 p.m. Management assumed he was just another average employee. During a budget meeting, the CEO decided to cut costs. The quiet guy was the first to go. He packed his desk, wished everyone luck, and walked out without saying a single bad word. Monday morning arrived. Nothing worked. The customer support system crashed. Invoices stopped generating. Orders disappeared from the dashboard. Even the coffee machine connected to the office network refused to update. Everyone blamed the IT department. Then someone discovered the truth. The quiet guy had spent 5 years building dozens of internal tools that automated almost every department. None of them were documented. Nobody else even knew they existed. The company had been running on software written by one employee they barely acknowledged. The CEO called him and offered his job back with a huge raise. He politely declined. Turns out, he had already accepted an offer from a competitor over the weekend. 6 months later, that competitor launched a product almost identical to the company's best-selling service. They captured thousands of customers. The company that fired him never fully recovered. Sometimes the most valuable person in the room is the one nobody notices. Let's move to another story. My neighbor listed his house for $1. And the entire town thought he had lost his mind. Within an hour, there were hundreds of offers. People were camping outside his driveway. A local news crew even showed up. Everyone kept asking the same question. Why would anyone sell a $700,000 house for $1? The auction started the next morning. Then the lawyer stood up and read one sentence everyone had missed. The $1 wasn't the purchase price. It was just the minimum opening bid. Buried in the terms was one condition. Whoever bought the house had to keep the elderly woman living upstairs there for the rest of her life, pay all her medical bills, and never sell the property while she was alive. Suddenly, almost every bidder walked away. By the end of the day, only one person remained. A young mechanic. He quietly bid $5,000. People laughed, saying he had just made the worst financial decision of his life. A week later, the old woman invited him upstairs for tea. She handed him a small metal box she'd been keeping for decades. Inside were stock certificates her late husband had bought in the early 1990s and forgotten about. The mechanic almost threw them away, thinking they were worthless. Instead, he had them checked. They were worth more than the house itself. Turns out, the old man had invested in a tiny tech company that eventually became one of the biggest businesses in the world. The mechanic kept his promise, looked after the woman until she passed away years later, and never forgot the day everyone laughed at his $5,000 bid. Let's move to another story. My cousin borrowed my car for 1 hour, and returned it with a full tank, brand new tires, and an envelope containing $10,000. I thought he had crashed it. He refused to explain and kept saying, "Just trust me." A week later, I finally got the truth. On his way to a meeting, he stopped at a gas station. An elderly man accidentally dropped a backpack while getting into his car. My cousin noticed it after the man drove away. Inside was nearly $80,000 in cash, along with legal documents and a handwritten note. He tracked the man down using the address on the paperwork and returned everything without taking a single dollar. The old man tried to reward him. My cousin refused. The man asked one question. "Whose car were you driving?" When my cousin mentioned it was mine, the old man smiled. It turned out he'd owned the local tire shop for decades. The next morning, he had my car picked up, replaced all 4 tires, serviced it, filled the tank, and left an envelope with $10,000 as a thank you. I tried returning the money. He wouldn't accept it. He said, "Anyone who trusts someone enough to hand over their car probably deserves a little good luck too." Sometimes, kindness comes back to people who didn't even know they were part of the story. Let's move to another story. My mom kept telling everyone I was unemployed, while I was secretly making more money than anyone in the family. I work from home. No suit. No office. No commute. So every family gathering turned into the same conversation. "When are you getting a real job?" My mom would always answer before I could. "He's still figuring things out." I stopped correcting people. One day, my uncle invited the whole family to celebrate paying off his mortgage. During dinner, someone joked that I should ask him for career advice. Everyone laughed. Then my cousin asked what I actually did all day. For the first time, I opened my laptop. I showed them the dashboard for my business. Last month's revenue was just over $280,000. The room went completely silent. My uncle thought it was fake. My aunt asked if it was a video game. Even my mom looked confused. Then my phone rang. I answered it on speaker. It was my accountant calling to confirm a six-figure tax payment due that week. Nobody said another word. On the drive home, my mom apologized. She admitted she had never understood what I did because it didn't look like a traditional job. Now, whenever someone asks what I do for a living, she answers before I can. And somehow, this time, she's proud to do it. Let's move to another story. My grandpa disappeared for 3 hours every Sunday morning. After he passed away, we finally found out where he had been going. Nobody questioned it. Every Sunday, he'd put on the same old jacket, grab his car keys, and leave without saying a word. If anyone asked, he'd just smile and say, "I've got somewhere important to be." After his funeral, we started cleaning out his garage. Hidden inside an old toolbox was a notebook. The first page had a list of names. More than 50 of them. Each name had a date and a short note beside it. Rent paid. Car repaired. School supplies. Medical bill. At first, we had no idea what it meant. Then we called one of the numbers. An elderly woman answered and immediately started crying when we mentioned my grandpa. She told us he had been secretly helping people in town for over 20 years. Every Sunday, he'd visit someone who was struggling and leave before anyone could thank him. Sometimes it was groceries. Sometimes it was cash in an envelope. Sometimes he'd just mow a lawn or fix a broken roof. He never told a single family member. A week later, word spread through town. Hundreds of people showed up to a memorial we didn't even organize. One by one, strangers stood up and shared stories we'd never heard. One man said my grandpa paid for his daughter's surgery. Another said he covered their rent the month they were about to become homeless. That's when we realized something. To us, he was just grandpa. To half the town, he was the reason they got a second chance.
And that's it for today's stories. Honestly, some of these are going to stay in my head way longer than they should. Let me know in the comments which story creeped you out the most and what you would have done in that situation. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and come back for more crazy stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.